Two cups in your system. You bad and you know it. Don't be afraid to show it off.
All right, now that we have the basics of dosage calculations underhand and under our belt, now we can move on to a more specific type of question. These questions are going to be based on the patient's weight. The doctor is ordering Diaril 1.8 milligrams per kilogram by mouth twice a day. All we have available are 12.5 milligram capsules, and the question is asking us how many tablets will we administer for each dose to a 31-pound child. Pay attention to that each, and pay attention to the weight, because that's going to be important later on. So the first thing that we're going to need to do here is we're going to make a conversion. Now, fortunately enough for us, what the doctor wants and what we have are in the same unit of measurement, but this is a weight-based question. So the conversion isn't going to be around the unit of measurement. It's going to be around the pounds and the kilograms. So the doctor wants kilograms, but the question is asking how much will we administer to a 31-pound child. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert the child's weight in pounds into kilograms. So we're going to take that 31 pounds and turn it into whatever that is in kilograms. So what you need to know is that 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 31 and we're going to divide it by 2.2 in order to acquire what the kilograms is. After acquiring the answer from calculating it in a calculator, what I got was 14.09. Now, we need to round this. We can't just leave it like this. Obviously, you could wait till the end of it, but what I like to do is I like to have everything rounded while I'm completing the question. And there will be a separate video that I go over the rounding guidelines for nursing, but just for the sake of this question, we're going to round this. And when you're dealing with weight, kilograms and pounds specifically, you always round to the nearest tenth. So this is 14.09. That's in hundreds. You need to round that to the tenth. This is a 0 here, but since the number after it is greater than 5, that means you round up. So 14.09 becomes 14.1. Now that we know that 14.1 is going to be our kilograms based on this 31-pound child, we can now take that rate, we can now take that 14.1 kilograms and we can multiply it times the 1.8 milligrams that the doctor is ordering. You're multiplying because the doctor ordered this medication 1.8 milligrams per kilogram. Well, since it's per kilogram, we have 14.1 kilograms based on this 31-pound child. So you need to do 14.1 times 1.8. So after putting that in the calculator, I got 25.38. Now, like I just said with this, when you're dealing with weight, you round to the nearest tenth. And since this is greater than 5, you round up. So 25.38 becomes 25.4. So now that we have 25.4, we have already figured out what the doctor has ordered. We have simplified this here, so that's why I scratched this out. You can disregard that now because now we have this. So we can plug this into the proportion method, which is the supply, which is 1. We have 1, let's say like 1 bottle of Diaril over what we have available. And what we have available is 12.5 milligram capsules over, and then you multiply that by X over whatever the doctor orders. The doctor is ordering 25.4 milligrams. So now that we have this set up, we can begin to cross multiply. What you're going to do is you're going to multiply 12.5 times X, and you're going to multiply 25.4 times 1. So you go across. Let's do these first. So 12.5 times X is going to be 12.5X. Draw an equal sign, and you cross the other way. 25.4 times 1, obviously that's going to be 25.4. Excuse that interruption. Now we can do 12.5, and we can divide that on this side, 12.5. Now you see how this is set up? We cross multiply 12.5 times X, we got that. 12.5x, then we did 25.4 times 1, we got 25.4. Once you get the equation set up, you divide whatever is hooked up here to the variable, you divide that number by the other side. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So we got 12.5x equals 25.4. You divide 12.5 by that, this cancels this out. So just have x. And the number that goes here will be whatever this equals after you divide 25.4 divided by 12.5. So after dividing, you should get 2.032. Now we need to simplify this. We can't leave it as that. There are 3 units of measurement that when you're using those units of measurement in a particular problem, they need to be rounded to the nearest whole. And I will go over that in a separate video that's strictly about rounding guidelines. But those units of measurement are, drops, suppositories, and capsules. Now, mind you, this question is asking about capsules. And as I just said, we need to round these to the nearest whole. These are the 3 units of measurement. We're dealing with capsules. So since this is capsules, what we're going to administer, you're going to take 2.032 and you're going to round it to the nearest whole. And the nearest whole number can easily be deciphered by going to whatever to the left of the decimal, which is 2. So the nearest whole is 2. To end off the question, though, you're not done yet. 2 isn't just your answer. Always be sure to not only write your answer, write unit of measurement, 2 caps, 2 milligram caps. There you go. And that is your final answer. So just to recap, do not forget, not only do you write your answer, you write the unit of measurement, and then you write what kind of medication is it. Now, some tests or assignments will probably have this part pre-filled in for you. Like it'll be like, let's say it'll be like blank and then cap. And then it's on you to write 2 milligrams in the space, and then you probably want to do that. But just to create a habit so you don't forget, just be sure to just include this, and then you should be set. All right, so you remember when I said pay attention to that each and pay attention to the weight? Well, we already addressed the weight, but refer back to the question. It said, how many tabs will you administer for each dose to a 31-pound child? But the question here, TID, remember I told you, always pay attention to your abbreviations. TID means twice a day. So you may be thinking, okay, well, the answer was 2 milligram caps, and the doctor wants this administered twice a day. So do I do 2 times 2? Since you got 2 milligrams times 2 for twice a day, it'll be 4 milligram caps per day. It'll be a total of 4 milligrams a day. Well, no, you wouldn't administer a total of 4 because the question specifically is asking you how much will you administer for each dose. It's not asking how much will you administer in a day or how much will you administer collectively in total. So just pay attention to that. Read the questions carefully.